of people love to do DIY projects for their wedding, so today I'm going to show you how to make a very easy and very beautiful wedding cake topper made out of wire and crystal beads. So it's a simple heart, and it's made with one piece of wire that's 16 gauge, which is about 1.2 millimeters wide. This one I used aluminum wire, but you can use copper wire or any silver colored wire or gold or any color you want. And it's basically a heart with an extension stick that plants into the cake. So what I'm going to do for that is start with my wire, and I've cut a piece that's about 20 inches long. So it's really going to depend on how big you want your heart to be. For this one, I'm going to use like a medium to small size pill bottle to make the shape of the round part at the top. And I'll start about 4 inches from one end, and I'm going to hold the pill bottle in place, and I'm going to actually just twist it around to make a bit of a curve like that, you can see. So I'm making a bit of a curve. That's my first curve. So there we go, like that. And then to twist it back, I like to bend it in a way that we'll have a little loop there, and that's going to fix the wire in place when we add the beads. So we're going to just bend it with our round pliers. My technique is usually just to hold the wire with the pliers and then bend the wire up like that. So we've got the starting of the heart like that. And same thing, take the pill bottle, hold it in place, and twist the wire around. Okay. And if you want a nice bend, I usually go beyond where I want to actually have the bend, so it makes a really wide curve. And this one too, I might adjust it so it's a little bit past where I ideally want it to be. And so you have a nice wide heart, and then you can kind of bend down the ends. And this is where you kind of eyeball it to see that it's a good kind of shape. So I think I'm going to have it about there. And what I want to do is I'm going to bend the long piece on a bit of a right angle like that. And then this piece, once I've checked that it's in the position I want, then I'm going to hold it in place and just bend it around 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and after that you want to cut it just really tightly in place. Okay, I'm going to go like that. If it needs adjusting, you can. And then I'll just take my flat pliers and give it a little pinch, not too much because you don't want to break the other wire, and then you can straighten out the end. And for the wedding cake, I would probably trim this to about 7.5 inches, depending on what height you want. Okay, so there's our heart. Now for the next part, we're going to cut a piece of wire. It's thinner, it's about 22 gauge. This one for sure I would use the copper wire because it's more flexible. So you can get a non-tarnished copper wire. You're going to give it a little bend kind of halfway through the wire, so at about 12 inches. And we want to start in the middle of the heart, so we're going to feed this through the middle of the heart like that. Okay. And then it's tricky with the long ends, but you just get them out of the way like that. And then we'll just twist this around a couple of times to hold it in place, so then it's secured. So once we've twisted the wire around a couple of times, just like that, then we can start adding our beads. Okay, so I've got some crystal beads here. I used different sizes to make it look more interesting. So this one is about a 8 millimeter. I use anything from 4 millimeters to 8 millimeters. They can be round or they can be kind of oval, whatever shape you like. So I've stuck the wire through the bead, and now I want to do a full turn around the wire before I put the next bead, because that'll help to secure it in place. So we do a full turn around, and then I would add my next bead, and I would probably add a smaller bead there. Okay, so we'll add a little bit of a smaller bead there, and we'll just turn it around. And like I said, a full turn around before you do your next bead. And that way, when you get to the end, you'll be able to adjust it in place and it'll hold in place. Now, the tricky part is to fix a bead in the middle here. So what I would do for that is I would just bring it around one time. And I'll bring it around there one time. And then we're going to get a bead that we want to put in the middle. So it could be a round bead, could be a more flat bead, and we'll just bead it on there. Okay. And I would try to kind of hold it over that little loop just so it's centered, and then twist it around a couple of times to hold it in place. And the wire is pretty forgiving, so if it's not like perfect right away, you can definitely readjust it once your beads are all on. So that shows you the beads centered in the middle. And then we're going to keep going around both sides. So now we've come to the end. I've done one side and twisted the wire around, and now I'm on my other side, and we just have a little bit of an end here, so we're just going to twist it around the top of the stick there. Twist it around a couple of times, and then you want to clip it very close to the end. And now you can kind of adjust the beads how you like them. They could be kind of off to the side, or they could be more on top of the wire, whatever you prefer. So you give them a little twist around, and there is your finished beaded heart wedding cake topper.